Oh shit. Does this still go when I do this? Oh fuck yeah. Alright, so as requested, today, or I will be reacting to a 1,000 players build massive civilization in Minecraft. Alright. Hang on, got an ad. Alright.
The biggest social experiment ever done.
Now I know where to line it up.
I scattered 1,000 people across 4 massive islands to simulate a realistic civilization. The players were given no help or guidance, and just like in real life, if you die, you remain dead forever. No. Now, each player has the freedom to do whatever they want. Gather resources, join a society, become a dictator, or if it comes down to it, go to war. With so many people on each island, anything can happen. But I can promise you one thing. This event ended up having the most
And now we're 13, what the fuck?
You do not want to miss this. So pick a nation to root for and enjoy the video. I present to you the 1,000 player civilization experiment.
Playback speed.
Don't forget, if you want to participate in these videos,
And that shit at 2.
and of course, subscribe to the
Discord.
Jump if you're ready. On day 1, 1,000 players were teleported to their islands, each its own biome. We had plains, desert, scouting their island, searching for a place to settle, but almost immediately we started to see people dying, and to death after getting stuck in powdered snow, which looks exactly like regular snow, but sucks you in. Oh no. Even worse for the poor people on the snow island. Trees nowhere to be seen. The desert island also had very few trees, which made it wood. But the places where there were trees quickly became extremely valuable hotspots for groups to settle and colonize.
Unpause it at 137.
On the trees, and we're thus already thinking about other things. What did you say your plan was?
I'm gonna take over the world. This is my right-hand man.
Darbo. Hello, right-hand man Darbo.
I'll talk to him.
Having a lot of trees did seem like an advantage at first. Many jungle people found the island
That's
reverse, given the immense amount of trees and the hostile mobs that would spawn on the surface due to lack of sunlight. The sphere of traveling also made it more difficult for jungle people to talk with each other, since players could only read the chat messages from people 100 blocks away from them or less. Although frankly, I think they didn't have to squint being the admin we're looking at.
Bro, I can't pay attention to this shit going this fast.
From the others. It truly was the perfect island to live on, with green grass, trees, animals, and no
Look at
natural
that.
dangers. Get a little animal family.
I'll start catching
Not
on.
worried about dying as much as everyone else. The people on the Plains Island were among the first to start mining for resources like iron or diamonds. They were also the first to build up villages and create civilizations. Throughout the first day, you can see 2 main groups starting to come together. One of them, a democracy led by a player named Horace Crown.
Our aim is building the most beautiful and nicest city on the entire server.
And the second, also a democracy led by a player named Sidefall.
I just want to make sure nobody dies.
It was actually kind of odd how similar these two civilizations were. They were both located on the southern shore, they both had democratic elections, and
So
their
they're
leaders were
privileged.
people. I just hope nothing happens to change that.
They're fucking
I
privileged.
hope they die. Soon it was the end of the day. Players across all 4 islands logged off and made plans for the next day. It was on day 2 when civilizations really began to thrive. In the southeast corner of the desert, what used to be an empty patch of grass was turning into the desert's largest nation.
foreigner.
What's up, bitch? Hope on his back. You might recognize the player storming out for my first civilization video where he led a nation called the Sultanate. Well, now the desert
Democrat.
is 2.0, and this time with a population of 100 people.
I want to maintain order and peace in the desert.
The rules, as established by the Sultan, included wear proper attire, do not eat pork, complete your mandatory work, and most importantly, acknowledge the Sultan as the supreme and divinely chosen leader. Moving on, since it was still hard to get food in a dry climate, the people of the Sultanate focused on developing different types of food production, like fishing in the surrounding ocean. On top of this, a player named Drip Chicken made a chicken market. Although when I checked it out myself, it turned out to be a very different type of market.
Welcome to Los Pollos Hermanos.
Thank you.
Would you like some totally legal sugar?
Anyway, we finally go back to the snow island. As I was flying around, I found what I can only describe
What's
as
all
a
the
British
foreigners,
shrimp.
right?
Is the cold climate really the best place for a shrimp?
I mean, depends.
Don't eat pork. Whoa.
Underneath?
Yes, he's fine.
Oh, he's up here now.
No, my fish buddy. Please get back down.
Despite the killer powdered snow and the occasional polar bear, the people on the snow island were actually doing pretty well building settlements together. Nobody was fighting because everyone had one common enemy, the harsh climate. That being said, it turned out that all of these snow settlements were more than just little communities. On day 2, rumor was getting out about a conspiracy that, despite them all being spread out across the entire island, a lot of these snow settlements were actually all being run by one single person, whose goal was to unify the entire snow island under one mighty empire. This person's name was Alanulo, and he was running this entire empire recruitment operation from an underground bunker where he felt he was safe for the time being. Essentially what he would do is hold meetings with people who were already leaders of their own settlements and convince them to merge their civilizations with his empire, so they would be stronger together. He would give these leaders orders to fulfill, and in exchange, they would be guaranteed high-ranking positions in the empire. If this empire actually succeeds in uniting all 300 people on the Snow Island, it would easily become the most powerful nation in the world. In fact, it would be bigger than the Sultanate and the two Plains democracies combined. Will this ambitious plan actually succeed? Let's see what happens in the following days.
Also, still cooking it. Dude's a bit of a fucking rat, to be honest with you. I wouldn't trust him.
I had no freaking idea. It was chaos. There were about 30 different camps and tribes spread out across the entire island, and a lot of them were in constant fights with each other. What's going on? There's a fight here. Here's a tribe that imprisoned one of their own members for being quote, too rich.
And this shit's still gonna be like 30 minutes
Well,
long.
there was chaos. Nobody trusted one another, and to add to this, nobody wanted to travel too far into the jungle because they were scared of rogue tribes and especially hostile mobs.
Fucking ad.
On day 3, there were too
Man.
many people.
Man, I was just gonna download the video and put my commentary track over it, but I don't think the ads are gonna line up right. All just filled in with goon breaks.
I got a few jokes about unemployed people. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
The second influential tribe was located in the dead center of the jungle, and it was what appeared to be a faction revolving around the worship of a player named Seth.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Oh, this is just crazy. You're telling me this isn't a personality cult?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. It's a way of life, alright?
Lastly, I'm not flying around this guy again.
That's gotta be
He had
racist.
actually become the leader of a pretty impressive settlement. Granted, there was a lot of internal drama in his tribe.
You see this really cool television? Yeah, it's really cool. You see how fun about that? Really cool. Nice. Now come over here.
In short, two of Wazik's tribe members built a librarian's tower, and he thought it was ugly and wanted to burn it down. Now, when I talked to the librarians, they said Wazik just doesn't like the library because he's illiterate. As I said, drama. Now, the jungle wasn't the only place having problems. The Plains Island was seeing both a surge in development, this whole place is awesome, but also a rise in tension. The leader of one of the Plains democracies, Forest Crown, had found out that the whole Plains nation run by Scyfall had reached out to the Snow Island looking for potential alliances. Forest Crown did not like that Scyfall was reaching out to other islands instead of reaching out to him.
Can't fucking-
With two other Plains settlements.
Dude's just Googling jokes.
Which would essentially cut off Scyfall's access to most of Plains.
Hey guys, I'm the funny guy. Check out this joke I found on darkhumor.com.
That would devastate their homes. Meanwhile, on the desert island, the Sultan's
Fuck,
was
got a piece of chicken on the table.
mountaineers had made their home on the mountains surrounding the Sultanate. So the two groups had a meeting to discuss this dispute over land.
Simply, white makes white. We're stronger, so if it comes down to it, maybe
People in the desert were starting to get worried about Stormingham's tyrannical nature, so some of them moved to a quickly growing democratic nation on the other side of the island. This was Theria, the name derived from the Greek word for freedom. I asked their elected president Saps about the Sultanate.
Oh, establish a peaceful relations for now. I mean, we're in the middle of a desert. Why fight, you know?
Overall, each island had its own conflicts.
What?
The desert's Sultan dominance, the Plains' alliance disaster, the jungle's total
Civil
chaos, and the
War.
Snow Empire's takeover. At least one of these conflicts was about to erupt very soon. And the conflict was Plains. At the beginning of day 4, a propagandist told everyone that Scyfall was about to attack the Plains Island. Horse Crown called it Code Red, and everyone on Plains was freaking out, including these guys at the center of the Plains Island who built a tavern on a lake.
Don't be pussy, go to war.
You can enjoy a nice beer since it might be our last.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, what was Scyfall actually doing? Well, it turns out Scyfall was just as confused as everyone else since he had no plans to attack anyone.
Wait, what the fuck? Did you say white, right?
I don't want to attack anyone. I want to
What the
You're
fuck?
right, I can't believe it. So now, both sides were gearing up for a war.
I'm not going back.
Scyfall was desperately trying to reach out to the other Plains leader, saying that he didn't want war. The other leaders doubted him, but they actually agreed to meet with him as long as they met on neutral ground.
Whoever told you guys how it works.
After the talk, Horse Crown secretly had undercover spies search Scyfall's entire village, but he wasn't aware Scyfall had someone else with a bunch of TNT at his village. But before things went too far,
Shit.
folks, we have a peace deal.
Dude.
Finished the margins.
Among Us.
After talking, the leaders had made a peace treaty. I actually didn't get to see much of the meeting, but here's essentially what happened. Scyfall first apologized to the other leaders for not being open with them, specifically about his relationship with the Snow Island. He told them he had only reached out to Snow and hoped to get on the good side of a player named A Freaking Turkey, who was apparently Anilo's second in command. The Plains leaders discussed their disagreements on foreign relations.
Whoa, the liberal media got him again.
But they were able to put their differences aside. They banished the propagandist from the Plains Island. And at the end, the four major Plains nations created a great Plains alliance. The Plains Island went from being on the brink of war to being the most united island of all. And it wasn't just Plains. At the end of the day, all four islands were prospering. From the people on Snow collecting resources and building together, to the people in the desert working on the Sultan's Build project, which was create a massive holy city. Even the jungle was at peace at the end of day 4, since the remaining jungle people were just thankful that they were still alive. Soon it opened the next day. But before the people back onto the server,
Wowza.
I decided to add a little something.
I can't believe it.
We had a fifth island in the center of the world.
Fucking
And we did so
hippies.
well we did this. We wanted to see who would discover the island, how long it would take to find, and then what would happen next. So we fired up the server, and the wait began. Meanwhile, we have to talk about the Snow Island. Hello, Turkey.
Hello, how's it going?
On day 5, the player A Freaking Turkey finally gave me a full explanation of the mysterious Snow Empire, which I found out was named the Aculon Empire. Still fearing for his safety, its founder, Olanulo, gave orders entirely from his secret underground bunker.
Oh, they fall.
Turkey carried out his orders and led the people on the ground. He got the settlements across the entire island.
There is a lot. Just know none of it was made by slaves.
The Empire relied on strict order to maintain peace. It's now 200 citizens were each assigned a daily job like building, mining, or fighting. And whenever they were online, all citizens were required to be in 2 Discord voice channels at once, which I didn't even know was possible. Also, the Aguilan Empire made it a point to document everything, including its list of members, its hierarchies, its physical landmarks. But what I found most impressive was the high-level operation going on in this seemingly regular building.
This singular building is the richest place in the entire server.
They called this the Quartermaster's House, and it was where the Aculon Empire not only collected and stored all its resources, but also distributed items using a complex request system, where, for
That
example,
would definitely be like Columbus up there, killing natives and whatnot.
Not yet. Let's just say, if you try to get in without permission, you're gonna get a very nice welcome.
And I kid you not, just a few minutes later, this guy Celsius was caught trying to sneak his way in. And
A lot of chicken,
public
man.
executions he held the next day. Things are kind of strict around here, huh? The Snow Island continues to be hyper-vigilant about criminals, but some Sultan made an inescapable prison. Is surrounded by a lot more Washington in the jungle and made a giant sand trap. Oh, this is evil.
Just you wait
Fuck
until
that.
we have a nice little deliberation.
Yeah. Things didn't feel exactly safe, as this self-described capitalist nation made a giant wall of protected people.
We want to make sure the communists cannot take this way.
Or imagine me bottom of the hierarchy list.
Something big was about to happen. Sultan's army's on the move.
Damn. Take the foreskin off the cheek.
People that had been rumored to want to assassinate the Sultan. They're at the north side of the island now.
So yeah, okay, this is our target. Okay, let's go.
According to the Sultan, the people hiding in this cell were indeed the attempted assassins, and now the group had a decision to make.
We're gonna kill this guy.
Do we kill this guy?
Up until now, there hasn't been any violence between desert nations. Will this be the breaking point?
Damn. I can't believe they're doing that. Hang on, I got another ad.
Justice will come for you.
The Sultan
Doing
spent the
great.
rest of the night raiding the settlement, but during their chase of another suspected assassin, they ran literally into a major dilemma.
I mean, how he's running through
The
here.
guy who was trying to kill was running toward the democratic nation of Theria to get asylum there. The Sultan is really about to run on Theria. Holy, it's because of major conflict. But the Sultan's army didn't care. They barged into Theria and searched every single house to find this one person, who ultimately ended up getting away. Meanwhile, the people of Theria were freaked out by the raid. But when they looked to their leader Sats for guidance, he was nowhere to be seen. He had fled. Eventually, the Sultan's army left, but Theria was not going to forget this.
By attempting to blow up the Quartermaster's house, Zelius betrayed our people. And
What
for
the
this,
fuck?
he must die. Glory to Aculon.
We're playing Middle Eastern music over.
It was a busy day for A Freaking Turkey. The execution was successful. But
I think it is. It sounds like it at 2 times.
So A Freaking Turkey met with a player who claimed to be a lawyer to set up a legal system.
You get the smallest seat, unfortunately, but do know it is quite important as well.
I'm used to cramming into tight spaces.
Afterward, A Freaking Turkey took his guard to Drew and confronted some farmers who he claimed weren't producing enough food for the Empire.
I swear, I would love to send you a knife to all your
Drew,
pets.
the bell. I expect 5 stacks of bread delivered within 1 to 2 business days.
Even though he was a little tyrannical at times, A Freaking Turkey was actually becoming very well liked in the Aculon Empire because he got things done and he was a charismatic speaker.
Fellow citizens, it is my distinct honor to pronounce Steve and Pixel as husband and wife.
Dang.
See, even though he was only the second in command of the Snow's Aculon Empire, many people were trying to view A Freaking Turkey as a better candidate for leader than Olajulo, since most people in the Empire had never even seen Olajulo, given that he's been hiding underground the entire time, afraid of being assassinated. In fact, some of the Stone citizens weren't even sure he existed, while Olajulo was only talking with high-ranking officials. A Freaking Turkey
Oh
was
my
a
God.
people, someone who talks to everyone. In fact, A Freaking Turkey had gained so much notoriety that leaders of other nations were starting to reach out to him for alliances rather than to Olajulo. So as a result of all of this, Olajulo was starting to get a little worried.
Turkey knows that I created this empire and its entire political system, and as long as I am alive, I will be its only ruler.
That's very funny.
I'm not going to go back.
Here on the Jungle Island, things haven't slowed down one bit. Amidst the chaos, this small group made a monkey religion, and their goal was to build the biggest tree in the entire world.
But actually, never stopped. While everyone else is fighting and killing each other, we are peacefully building.
By now, every tribe in the jungle seems
Dang.
These guys live in a tree. This group, called the Blue Cross, provided food and shelter to refugees. Meanwhile, Walter's
Fucking
people
OG
still taking
Savage
over
King,
roles.
you can't talk to him in real life and they're getting married in Minecraft, dude.
You did this out of spite, didn't you?
What a world we
There was
live
a lot
in.
on Wazik's mind, as if he was planning something big. Meanwhile, Seth and the Sea People were still the two biggest tribes in the jungle, and both pursued very innovative political strategies. For example, Seth got married, but only so he could parade around the jungle and demand weddings from everyone. And you know what? It pretty worked. The Sea People, on the other hand, had taken on a massive goal, which was to finally end the chaos in the jungle. And they did this by sending out stealth groups and
Oh,
hunting down
someone,
thieves, murderers, and the
kills
people
them.
they claimed did wrong. However, some
Personally.
of the wrongdoers they killed were actually allies of Seth. In response, Seth demanded that the Sea People stop their initiative immediately, but the Sea People planned
Oh,
to continue.
fuck.
All of a sudden, the
Got
jungle
beard
was
hair
on
on
the
the
verge
cutting
of a
board.
massive war, as if
I
it
need
wasn't
a
enough chaos
hairnet.
already. Wait, is Elijah here? I think so. On day 7, a player named the Monkey Monkey discovered the secret 5th island. The island had a mysterious dead terrain, a small regal village in the center, and underground, it contained netherite, which is the strongest and rarest resource in the world. Now, Monkey Monkey was a part of Sci-Fall's nation in Plains, and he quickly alerted Sci-Fall about the very strange and unexpected discovery he just made. He's taking the blue lantern so people believe him. Guys, I'm not lying, there really is an island. 2 minutes later, another person found the center island. This time, someone from the jungle. Then, like a domino effect, more and more people started arriving, typically either alone or in small groups, like these guys from the desert. Even though they all came from different islands and nations, nobody was fighting. In fact, he seems to be forming friendships and simply admiring this new mysterious place. Saying, this is amazing. Quickly, word began spreading across the world that there was a 5th island, and about 30 minutes into day 7, basically
Let's go.
everyone knew. It was crazy how fast everyone found out. Now, some nations were hesitant about visiting, believing that the island was some sort of trap, while other nations, like the Aculon Empire, sent out large exploratory groups to investigate the island. So Aculon is here, but instead of mining for netherite, they're taking the wool from the tents. Oh, we have sheep in the Snow Island. That makes sense. No nation, not even the Snow Empire, had the courage to publicly claim the center island as part of their nation, as their territory. Probably because it was resolving conflict with other nations, which was my secret into it. And the island would cause some type of war, but it didn't cause a war, or maybe just not yet.
Nah, I would have fucking took that shit over myself.
The story of
That's being a little fucking sissy.
Wow, you've really expanded your business.
Yeah, we're doing quite well.
Because starvation was such a big problem in the desert, Drip Chicken had made it his life's mission to feed the people of the desert. And ever since I spoke with him on day 2 next to his little food stand, Los Pollos Hermanos had become a staple of the Sultanate. But this business would soon run into some problems. See, on days 4 and 5, the Sultan storming hell was unsatisfied with the slow progress on his build project, the Holy City. So he demanded that the farmers of the Sultanate stop growing food and instead work on his build project. And just like that, the food supply going into Los Pollos Hermanos had completely stopped. The restaurant suddenly had no food available to sell. Having no food, Drip Chicken was instead forced to sell some questionable products, and if he was caught selling these products by either the Sultan or the Sultan's twin guards, he would probably receive a life sentence in the Sultanate prison. Meanwhile, the farmers of the Sultanate were unhappy since they wanted to farm, not be forced to build. So in a rebellious move on day 5, Drip Chicken and the farmers secretly set up a meeting to assassinate the leader of Theria.
I know you want to move to Theria, but if you do, the Sultan will send his lead squad to hunt you down. So, there's something. There's about to be chaos in the desert.
And Zach was correct. There was about to be chaos in the desert. For reasons he couldn't tell the farmers just yet, but he did tell me.
You know who Dapper is?
Yeah, I think so. He's one of the twin guards, right?
He's about to leave the Sultanate and join me.
Really? The two people the Sultan trusted the
First
most
started
were his two twin
KFC.
guards, the brothers Davarit and Zambo. But one of them had grown tired of the authoritarian warmongering ways of the Sultan. So Davarit had reached out to the leader of Theria, and together they created the single craziest plan I have ever heard.
Oh
and
my
this
God.
Was first, Davarit leaves the Sultanate to join Theria. Next, the Sultan
Let the
finds
chicken
out
dude
Davarit
take
sends his
over,
elite squad
come
to kill
on.
Davarit. Then, when the elite squad is away hunting for Davarit, and the Sultan is therefore alone, Davarit will sneak back into the Sultanate and kill the Sultan. Davarit will then claim leadership over the Sultanate, and as the new leader, he will finally bring peace to the desert. Davarit, there is no way this works.
Brother, grow some chest hair. That's new look, correct?
So, at the end of day 7, Davarit snuck out of the Sultanate and headed to Theria to begin the operation, while Drip Chicken and the farmers fled to the Plains Island. On their way out, some of them took one final look back at their home, at their restaurant, knowing that they would probably never see it again, knowing
Let's
that
fucking
Los
go.
Pollos Hermanos had come to an end. On day 8, there was a major event on the Snow Island. For the first time ever, Emperor Alanilo had come out from his underground bunker. He had summoned the entire Snow Island to the Aculon Castle, so
got a
he would be
coup.
crowned as the leader. Before the coronation, all high-ranking officials were required to provide Alanilo a gift.
I present to you a high-quality pair of premium brand sneakers.
Thank you.
I, Baron Saul Goodman, give you this present, Lord Emanuel. My presence is your present.
After the gifts, Alanilo asked his second-in-command, a freak in Turkey, to make a speech affirming Alanilo's undisputed leadership.
My friends, the Aculon Empire is the strongest nation in the world, not because of one leader, but because of all of us.
Thank you, Turkey.
At the end of the ceremony, Alanilo asked all of his citizens to follow him out of the castle, down the main path of the Empire, in a symbolic move meant to showcase the unity of the Snow Island.
Damn.
This image of unity was only a mirage. There was a lot of discontent building within the Empire for many reasons. They didn't like that Alanilo's knights were constantly bossing them around, nor did the Aculon builders like it when Alanilo
Go
first took over the
Bray.
Aculon castle instead of letting them finish their
Rub one
project. There
out
was a general sense that
though.
Alanilo might be overreaching with his power, especially when he started spying on his own citizens to see who was criticizing his leadership. See, Alanilo believed that in order for his citizens to have a good life, they have to live in a strong nation, and the only way to maintain a strong nation was through complete unity under a powerful and unchallenged leader. This is why Alanilo was fearful about the discontent within his nation, as well as the rising popularity of his second-in-command, a freak in Turkey. Knowing that they were being spied on, many of A-Freak and Turkey supporters were becoming scared living on the Snow Island, afraid that they would be executed for not supporting Alanilo's leadership. So, with the help of A-Freak and Turkey, plus another high-ranking official, its Ender, some Aculon citizens organized secret evacuations out of the Snow Island through underground tunnels, some of which led to Seth's nation in the jungle, others going to Scyfall's nation in plains. Both Seth and Scyfall were very open to accepting refugees, especially those who opposed Alanilo, some of whom they believed to be a dangerous tyrant. Also, they had just found out that Alanilo had actually sent spies all across the world, including into their own nation, so they didn't like him very much.
We're not going back until there's some form of democracy in Snow.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Meanwhile, in Plains, Mr. Turkey, are you starting a revolution?
No, I do not do a revolution. I just want to kill people.
When do you go back to the Snow Island?
Probably tomorrow, because Dragon's gonna be in the
So while A-Freak and Turkey stayed on the Plains Island for the rest of the day, Seth and Scyfall created the first ever unified island fleet. This fleet not only established the Scyfall as allies, but it also declared their nation as a peace. One of the ways they accept all peace agreements with the Sultanates or the Aculon Empire. After A-Freak's action in the Aculon Empire, he was still technically the second-in-command, but it was only a matter of time before Alanilo finds out about the missing citizens, and then it's very likely that Turkey will be stripped of this position, or...
Man, my recommendation is to not stop Minecraft now because I watched this whole thing.
On day 8, the center island was in a lot of business and curious place, and instead of fighting each other, everyone just kind of hanging out and doing their own thing. Later that night, some adventurers started terraforming the dead terrain, making it green. Not bad. These guys, meanwhile, made a secret underground church that hosted many ceremonies and cultural events. Typical rituals. Now, I find two churches that day, the second one in Scyfall's nation, although I was very disturbed by the person to the next one.
Lightweight to lethal.
Whoa, what did I do? We're taking it away.
Whoa.
Oh, no. Later that night, the Plains Island received an unexpected visit from the Aculon Empire's state-sponsored
Chicken
journalist. I'm with the news. Down with the news. Go away, go away. No Fox News today. They're kicking out the journalists. Meanwhile, I ran into these Plains farmers who literally did nothing but plant wheat everywhere. Oh my god. Now, right next to the wheat field was a cookie factory in Horse Crowns Nation, which took the wheat and made a variety of
Oh my god.
The Great Plains Alliance was signed on day 4. The people of Plains believed their island to be, for the most part, a very safe place to live, and as a result, many players felt secure enough to run their own businesses. There was a bakery, an Outback Steakhouse, boating and kayaking, 2 KFCs, and there was the most recent addition, Los Pollos Hermanos. You made one in the Plains biome?
Yes.
Claiming refugee status, Drip Chicken and the Sultanate farmers received citizenship in Sidefall's nation to rebuild their famous restaurant, and the people of Plains welcomed the refugees with open arms. The only person who wasn't happy was the owner of KFC, who now had competition. Anyway, when word got out in the desert that Drip Chicken and the farmers had fled the Sultanate as did Davros, many loyalists in the Sultanate were furious with these betrayals. While the Sultanate was still the second most powerful nation in the world, the first being Akulon, these people in the Sultanate hurt the Sultan's public image, and he feared being seen as weak by the world and by his own people. So predictably, the Sultan sent his elite squad out into the desert to try to find and kill both Davros and Drip Chicken. But instead of staying home in the Sultanate, this time the Sultan traveled with his elite squad. This threw a wrench into Davros' assassination plan, and Davros had no choice but to keep hiding underground until he saw an opportunity to strike. Meanwhile, the leader of Theria, Saps, was extremely worried because he knew that the fate of his nation and his people rested on this assassination attempt. If it succeeds and the Sultan is killed, well, then all is well. But if it fails, it will only be a matter of time before the Sultan finds out the behind the plan.
Outback?
Were entirely innocent.
Two
Didn't
KFCs.
tell any of his citizens that he was involved in an assassination plot because they definitely wouldn't approve of something that puts them in such danger. All of this tension in the desert was really starting to get to some people, like this group, which made a giant lava wall around their civilization. They wanted nothing to do with the politics of the desert, and they were rather paranoid about everything.
The walls keep us safe. We can't leave the walls for long because then we're not safe. Everyone inside the walls is safe. Everyone outside is not safe. They're strangers. We shouldn't trust them. So finally, also don't push any buttons if I'm here.
Okay, I actually think this group is more of a cult than a civilization, but still, I think they had the right idea. And now we go back to the jungle war. I say war.
Dang.
Both major nations had already basically decided that they cannot coexist in the jungle. Seth was mad because people were killing many of his allies, while the sea people were mad because Seth wouldn't let them kill those who they believed to be criminals. Neither nation was willing to compromise on this, so war seemed inevitable. However, because Seth had also recently formed an alliance with Sidefall for Plains, a war between the two jungle nations would likely cause Sidefall, as well as the rest of the Plains Island, to join the battle, thus turning this into an actual world war. So, given that the stakes were so much higher now, both sides agreed to have one final meeting to maybe work things out. It was Wazak who quickly offered his nation as a good neutral location for the meeting, and he was quite enthusiastic about hosting it. On day 8, Seth and the sea people sent the highest-ranking official to Wazak's nation, where the meeting would take place.
Damn, that's crazy.
Killed 7 people using his aircraft before getting away. And people decided to put their war on hold and declared a group-by worldwide man on 4 Wazak. Everyone was confused about why Wazak did this, but instead of everything Wazak had told them the day before. It's a war breakout. Have fun stuff. It's really how? Oh, this is my friend. When 7 people declared war on each other, Wazak decided to use his aircraft and make himself the villain, so that the alliance members would defeat to unite against him, therefore actually preventing a world war.
Crash on me, crash on me.
storming hell in what he called an act of revenge. All of a sudden, within the span of a few minutes, storming hell, Sap, and Zabrit were all dead. Both the Sultan and Theria were without a leader, and the desert island was in a state of total confusion. Now, because the Sultanate didn't have a solid line of succession, there was a short power struggle that ended with the Sultanate getting completely dissolved. On day 9, the second most powerful nation in the world had fallen, and most of the Sultanate's citizens ended up leaving. That being said, it wasn't totally the end. Some who were still loyal to the late Sultan decided to form their own militia, whose only goal was to track down Santa and avenge the Sultan.
We got called by the divine leader. He killed the representative. Much luck.
Theria, on the other hand, didn't dissolve, and instead elected a new leader, a player named Jovial. Now, the people of Theria would continue to live in a state of fear, afraid they would be invaded by one of the new desert militias. Also, they would never find out why their founder Saps jumped off because of guilt. After he saw Dabra die, Saps believed that the Sultan would invade and destroy Theria, and he felt too ashamed knowing that he would be responsible. It was only thanks to Zamda that the invasion didn't happen. The death of the Sultan sent shockwaves throughout not just the desert, but the whole world. Many nations went on lockdown, including the Aquilon Empire. While they technically weren't allies, Emperor Olanilo had always admired Sultan Storminghel's strong authoritarian leadership. So after the lockdown, Olanilo sent his diplomats to the desert to talk to the Sultanate militias. At the same time, on the Plains Island, Drip Chicken of Los Pollos Hermanos was watching the desert from afar, and he was worried about these rumored desert militias. Because Drip Chicken was from the desert, he was able to educate his customers in Plains about the politics of the desert, and after Saps' death, he encouraged Sidefall to send diplomats to Theria quickly, and Sidefall did just that. On day 9, Theria officially joined Seth and all the Plains nations in the refugee state contract, and what originally started as a simple refugee agreement between Seth and Sidefall had now turned into a worldwide alliance called the Alliance of Democratic Nations, or put simply, the Allies. As the people of the Aquilon Empire continue their daily routines, the highest-ranking officials of the Empire gathers to discuss the new existential dilemma they were now facing. The Aquilon Empire had always been the most powerful nation in the world, and it still technically is, but when adding together the populations of all the states in the Democratic Nations Alliance, it is the allies that have more people overall. This made Aquilon officials extremely worried. They saw this as the first legitimate threat to the regime. Olanilo agreed with this view, but at the moment, his attention was on another problem entirely, the problem known as A Freakin' Turkey. A Freakin' Turkey's rise to popularity had always bothered Olanilo, but now this conflict was at an absolute breaking point because yesterday, one of Olanilo's spies caught A Freakin' Turkey helping Snow citizens flee the Empire. Fleeing or defecting was strictly against Aquilon law. Olanilo's spy also saw A Freakin' Turkey hanging out with not just Sidefall, but nearly all the major Plains leaders, which made Olanilo think, is A Freakin' Turkey planning something? Is he secretly working with the allies? Is he about to orchestrate a full-scale revolution or an invasion of the Aquilon Empire? These were all questions that Olanilo was wrestling with, and the more he thought about it, the more he convinced himself that A Freakin' Turkey was probably committing some sort of treason and needed to be stopped. Yesterday, A Freakin' Turkey had reached out to Olanilo for a meeting, and today, Olanilo accepted this request, but with a few conditions.
Alright,
One, this meeting takes place at the Aquilon Castle. 2, Turkey comes alone. And 3, the meeting takes place not today, but tomorrow, because Olanilo needs some extra time for his builders to finish a certain project located on the top of the Aquilon Castle. Nobody knew what the strange-looking tower was, but Olanilo insisted it be completed by the time Turkey shows up.
Tomorrow's certainly going to be interesting, so make sure everyone's ready.
Lastly, later in the day, Olanilo sent diplomats to establish alliances with both the desert militias and with the sea people in the jungle. Olanilo appreciated the sea people's value of order, and he promised that he will help them stop the chaos in the jungle and help them catch the #1 most wanted criminal, Wazuk. The sea people accepted this alliance, but they ended up not needing Aquilon's help because late into day 9, Wazuk decided to turn himself in. He's about to be executed. A guilty conscience, perhaps. All right, Wazuk, I understand you have a prepared statement. You may now read your final words.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, it's your old friend
Yeah,
Wazuk.
dumbass.
In the beginning, I wanted to rule
Bro,
the world.
working in the fucking Plains, man.
Decisions. And now, it's my time to go.
You killed innocents.
If there's one thing I've learned, is that time can never be your trusted friend. Long live the jungle.
After deciding that being a criminal in hiding isn't how he wanted to live, Wazuk instead chose to face inevitable death on his own terms, and by doing so, he gave the jungle one last moment of unity. The conflict between the two major jungle tribes was still unresolved, especially now that they were opposing forces, but for this brief moment, there was peace in the jungle. Well, that was fun. Everyone's coming down the tree now. Most nations around the world took the end of day 9 to rest and reflect on how far they've come. For example, the jungle's Blue Cross tribe celebrated becoming international, with at least one charity location on each island. Meanwhile, in the deserts, the two Sultanate militias held a funeral for the late Sultan.
No, not my boy. He brought peace.
After which they proceeded
No.
to building the Sultan's holy city in
No.
Theria, on the other hand, expanded its reach into the arts and became the first civilization to develop music. Lastly, on the Plains Island, businesses were booming and civilizations were thriving. On day 9, the Plains Island had finished the construction of the ISH, the International State Highway, which made trade and transportation between the major Plains nations much faster. Overall, the building and architecture and player creativity in Plains was simply amazing, and it was all made possible by the political stability of the Plains Island. Many in the desert and jungle.
Oh, no. No.
As the end of the day approached, A Freakin' Turkey returned to the Plains Tavern after spending the day traveling around the world, visiting civilizations in the jungle, the deserts, and of course the Plains Island. During many of his visits, he was very surprised when he found
Oh
out
my
that most people
God.
from these foreign nations
Oh
not
my
only
God,
knew about him,
he's so
but admired him.
stupid.
This was because rumor had spread about his disobedience to Olanulo, and as a result, he had earned a worldwide reputation as the savior of refugees, the honorable rebel, the man who stood up to the emperor. And everywhere a freaking turkey went, he was welcomed with open arms. By the way, I think it would have been perfect for that.
Yeah, I heard there was a comedy show here. You should have called me over.
When it came to the Akulon Empire, the truth was, a freaking turkey had no intention of causing any type of uprising or revolution. In fact, he was strictly against
fucking
the
almost an hour in. Damn. There better not be a fucking part 2, dude.
During his prolonged stay in Plains, he had seen what freedom and democracy looked like. He
I
had
can do
conquered
that.
forged elections in the early days, and now envisioned a reformed Akulon Empire. His new dream was to bring democracy to Snow, bring freedom to the people of the Akulon Empire, and make the Snow refugees feel safe to come back home.
I might just be overly optimistic, but I think we can achieve world peace.
Okay. If a freaking turkey is able to convince Olanulo to convert the empire from a tyrannical dictatorship into a free democracy, and then the Akulon Empire ends up joining the Allies, then world peace wouldn't just be a far-fetched idea for wishful thinkers. It would actually happen. With this massive goal in mind, a freaking turkey prepared for tomorrow for his big meeting with Olanulo.
Just remember everything we talked about. We'll be watching.
Before a freaking turkey took off to the Snow Island, he had met with the four major Plains leaders one last time to tell them what he hopes to achieve in his upcoming talk with Olanulo. The Plains leaders were pessimistic. See, when they heard about Olanulo's conditions for the meeting to take place, they suspected that this was going to be
He's a
Olanulo
dog,
removes
dude.
Turkey from his second-in-command position, or worse, puts Turkey in Akulon's prison. Whatever happens today, the Plains leaders promised Turkey that he has the full support of the allied nations. Even if they can't attend the meeting, they will be watching and will do whatever they can to help him. There we go, Turkey is now back on the Snow Island. I think he's going to leave right away.
Wow.
This is weird. Turkey's been at the castle for like a few minutes now, and Olanulo's nowhere to be seen. Oh, he's right here. He's on his way. Here we go. Everyone's here now. I think everyone's here now. Knights come to the castle.
Yeah.
Wow, I think these are all the high-ranking officials.
Doom break.
Hear ye, all barons, Duke Turkey, and fellow knights have now come together to speak with Emperor Olanulo. Olanulo, would you please start the
Wait.
conversation?
Turkey, hold on. So before we begin, sorry to interrupt. I have a special thing I want to do. real quick.
Wait.
So, here,
Drew, not yet. I want to do something first. Turkey, can you sit on the throne for a second?
Why?
Just.
Okay. What are we doing?
What is happening?
Can I trust you, Turkey?
Yeah?
You like
What?
this, right? Sitting on the throne?
You put me on here. I don't know
Turkey's
what you're talking about.
fucking dead, dude. What if I get smoked?
I know that you've colluded with the Plains Alliance. And I know that you want to take over this nation. Take this throne for yourself.
Whoa, what?
There's nothing you can do at this point to convince me that you're not plotting a revolution against me. I got you red-handed.
No, Olanulo. Yes, I've talked to Plains. I've also talked with Desert and Jungle. I am a diplomat. And I'll tell you this, all those people that I talk with will become our allies the moment we turn this place into an actual democracy.
Why are you secretly leading people off my island?
Yeah, he's definitely
Because
fucking
they thought you were
dead.
going to kill them. And to be honest, so did I. So that's the point of this meeting. You want to get rid of me? You know what? How about I just leave, and you won't have to deal with me again? I'm just gonna go, okay?
Nah, don't do it to my boy. You just want peace, man. Man, I need some lotion on my hands.
Wow. Oh, wait, they're killing Turkey's supporters.
Oh,
They're
no.
taking out his supporters as well. This is crazy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island, and many of Turkey's supporters were killed. The few who were able to escape immediately swam to the other islands to tell everyone exactly what happened.
And all of the knights started executing Bernie, Inder, Turkey. They assassinated some of the most loved members of Akulon.
When a freaking Turkey's death message appeared in chats, people around the world were outraged.
Oh my God.
After, the leaders of the allied nations started activating their militaries, putting them on standby.
Turkey once visited Los Bellos Hermanos. I'm giving the army ticket for 50% to make sure they're ready for battle.
Meanwhile, Olanulo got word that the allies were preparing their armies, so he declared a full lockdown, reached out to his own allies, and called them to the Akulon castle to be ready in case the allies declare war. And sure enough, when the Plains leaders talked with Theria and Seth, the vote was unanimous. On day 10, the Alliance of Democratic Nations officially declared war on the Akulon Empire.
I just want to say, I wish you luck and great success. Hopefully, we all see
I'm not gonna let it happen,
the
man.
new Akulon Republic, the new Akulon Republic that we all dream about having. Thank you all.
This isn't about us. This isn't about our lot. It's about getting justice for Turkey and ridding the world of tyranny.
No.
All the allied nations met up at the center
Oh
island
my
to attack
God.
the Snow Island together.
Today, we fight for revenge. We fight for freedom.
No, not Turkey, man. What the fuck? It's a genocide, dude.
Olanulo had set a trap. The Akulon builders had taken inspiration from
Purge,
and created
come on.
what they called the
Follow
Iron
me.
Torch, the most advanced defensive tower in the world, complete with dangerous height, sturdy walls, arrow slits, and lava cover. This is crazy.
They're here.
Time can never be your trusted
Dang.
friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and goodbyes. Maybe a love like ours can lead out its call. I will keep you near until the world after you are safe with
Bro,
me.
that's fucking nuts. What the fuck? Damn, they really put montage in the war.
Soon after Alanilo died, the Aculon Empire officially surrendered.
Wait, I can't usually say they surrendered. Kill them.
But even though Aculon surrendered, the Allies didn't stop fighting. No mercy, no mercy. I'll say no mercy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island.
What the fuck, dude?
Of Turkey doing the killing. It's just an absolute slaughterfest. After a while, the Allies had completely taken over.
Oh my
and
god.
all the Aculon forces had either been killed or had fled the island and gone into hiding. And with that, the Alliance of Democratic Nations had defeated the Aculon Empire. It was only when the war ended and the clouds parted that the Allies were finally able to reflect on what they had done. They had succeeded, but they had also shown no mercy. When their enemy surrendered, they continued to be ruthless and thirsty for blood. It was as if they had become their enemy. As the Allies each safely returned to their homes, now with a clear mind, many of them felt regret. Neither side was completely innocent, and the war was complicated.
Where the fuck is the king during all this?
And the
Oh, he's in there? Oh shit. Oh fuck, dude. Dude, they got his ass. No.
And a few smaller nations created a world alliance with a massive parliament building on the center island where world leaders met to discuss the affairs of their nations and, most importantly, to keep the peace. And the first order of business was pardoning the few living players who fought for Aculon so they didn't have to live in hiding.
What the
Meanwhile, snow
fuck?
refugees were able to move back to the Snow Island and create the new Aculon Republic, putting democracy in snow. They also tore down the remains of the Iron Torch and built a graveyard honoring all who died in the Battle of Aculon. And overlooking the graveyard was the man, or Turkey, who inspired them all. And so, the jungle went back to hosting comedy shows, the desert went back to pursuing the arts, and Drift Chicken went back to running Los Pollos Hermanos. After all that happened throughout the days, things were finally settling down. For many players, the newfound peace allowed for new stories to begin. But for us, it's a good place to
Alright,
end.
chill, dude.